now. I'll be your snake coming to you from the West Coast to the left coast. Behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sarah, and today, well, today is Monday, Fun Day.
Hey, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image of me that you're used to. I look money, a king bee making honey, see? Deep state, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round, I'm the new sheriff in town. All my people rise up and stand your ground. Now drink up all the Diet Coke you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself, my name is Trump D. I like my mashed potatoes lumpy. Fake news, oh how I like to punk thee. That little sniper on the slow tin, he took a shot but he missed me. I don't fall, y'all, I'm like the ever-ready bunny. Still going strong and spunky. So put on your big boy pants. Come on, let's do the dance.
The Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpty Trump. Come on and do the Trumpty Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpty Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah. Do you know what I'm doing? We do the Trumpty Trump. Come on, everybody do the Trumpty Trump. It's time to do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday. And, well, once again, Mondays never cease to amaze me because, you know, it's funny when Joe Biden was president, he knew there was almost nothing, no news, hardly anything coming out of the weekend. But with Donald Trump, there's always something. It's almost always good news. When it's not good news, it's really very entertaining news. And this Monday has not disappointed one little bit. I gotta tell you, it's not easy for me to decide which things I was going to talk about or that we're not going to talk about today. Okay, but if as long as we're together, as long as we have the opportunity to talk about the good things that are happening, that are coming out of the White House, that are coming out of Washington, D.C., good things coming out of Washington, D.C., and across the country, you know, once again, it's cause for celebration. Biden is back in the United States, so he's back, but unfortunately, he's predisposed, indisposed, whatever you want to refer to it as. He ain't going with us today, and that's okay, because I'm here and you're here, and we're going to have a good old time talking about the news, about the things that are happening. Before we get into that, we're going to start off with a quick shout out to our sponsor. We're going to start with local British and industries, like rifle and pistol caliber barrels that are available for your purchase. Do the website industries.net. You purchase an AR in the last 2 uses the HHR cap in the barrel, so why not get another one? So you're starting to end build or you just want to repair the current roll rifle, start your project, start your journey to the industry. And I've got the California Republican Assembly working in elected senators at all level of government. School board of the President of the United States are the fastest and largest and fastest growing conservative grassroots organization in the state of California. Find out why. It's CRAGOP.org. That's CRAGOP.org. Like the written one for the Council of the Republican Party. Whenever you find out why. And then we've got the best concealed carry tactical holsters available on the market. You'll find them at hogholsters.com. It's HAWG holsters.com. Right, it's a little different. Why? Because they like to help Americans wear guns. They like it so much. They're going to give you a discount. Like how much of a discount they're going to give you. They're going to give you a discount. If you use this code rundown, all caps, no space, one word, like it's right there, and you're going to get a hefty, nice little discount on the rundown. But then we've got a place where, you know, you're going to buy new gear. In particular, if you're going to buy new gear, you're part of a group, right? Maybe you've got a team, maybe you've got a club, maybe you're purchase stage for you. You do what you got to do at combatgear.com. They have a huge selection of products. They have great, seriously competitive pricing, and the customer service is for. They'll check them out, spend some money. Trust me, you will not regret it. If you at Combat Gear, place where you can find all things tactical except gun. All right. Speaking of tactical, this weekend, you know, this weekend, we didn't see it because I was more thick, but there was a rescue mission that took place that is, well, let's put it this way. All indications are there's going to be a movie about this. There we had an F-15 shot down on Thursday. You know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and have to hear the report here from Fox News. We'll talk about it on the first side. I just want you to give They'll tell you what happened, show you how we heroically went after it. Really made the phrase, no man left behind. But we made sure folks understood, yeah, that's the thing.
And right now, brand new details about the nearly 100 special operations forces and nearly 100 bombs used to evacuate a U.S. airman missing more than 36 hours after his jet went down behind enemy lines in Iran. The serious firepower reportedly included 4 B-1 bombers, part of a larger air armada that dropped nearly 100 2,000 satellite-guided bombs to ward off any Iranians who were trying to find him and ultimately getting into some heavy fire. Let's step back because you can't overstate the role the CIA played in this. Remember, on Thursday, the jet goes down in the Khuzestan province. They rescue on Friday the pilot, but the weapons systems officer climbs into a mountain crevice. The CIA initially used deception campaign inside Iran to throw the Iranians off of the scent. We know that the airman is alive. He's hiding. He's using his seer expertise to evade and survive, but yet we don't know where he is. It's been described as a needle in a haystack. So the first part of the CIA's campaign was to put out that they'd already located the airmen and were doing a ground extraction, a ground exfil, putting the Iranians off the scent so they were chasing what they thought was a ground operation while we brought in the air search and rescue. Now, the deception campaign confused the Iranians and allowed the CIA then to use special technology, never before used successfully. We don't fully know those details, hopefully learn more, but the CIA using state-of-the-art technology to continue to locate the airman. He climbs to a 7,000 elevation mountain crevice hiding spot and is able to transpond. Ultimately, there were initial concerns, by the way, because the U.S. thought this might be a trap. The first transmission reportedly from that airman was God is good. And with that, let's bring in retired CIA operations officer Scott Eulinger. Scott, this is remarkable, this operation, the CSAR that is going to go down in the history books and be studied for years. But as I said, the CIA played a huge role. Walk us through some of the details of how the CIA made this a success.
Well, one thing we're seeing is the product of increased CIA military cooperation, which started basically at 9/11 and has gotten better ever since. So initially, I believe the communications were monitored by the CIA, which then passed it on to the military, who were able to formulate the rescue plan. But then someone in the CIA, or perhaps someone else, because we don't know for certain, formulated the deception plan, because with the weapons systems officer so close to Isfahan and hiding in an area that has a lot of Iranian activity, it was decided the deception operation would be necessary to convince at least some of the Iranians that the exfiltration was undergoing and that a ground convoy was moving toward the Gulf for a maritime exfiltration.
And Scott, we understand that some special techniques, some special technology never before used by the CIA was employed here. Do you have any insight into what that might be?
Well, one thing I know for certain is the pilot communications have been greatly improved since the Vietnam War. And so what we have now are communications which are capable of burst technology. So that initial God is good transmission was sent out, but it was sent out in burst technology very quickly in a way that prevents its interception or its direction finding, which is very important. So that's a marked improvement over what has existed before. And that allowed the forces to kind of marshal, understand the pilot was in a certain area, and then later on, the pilot was able to transmit a transmission of greater duration, which provided the necessary information for the rescue.
And this.
So, I mean, anyway, it's very that they literally committed. If you look to the president, it was hundreds of personnel, hundreds of bombs. They committed, they made sure that the guy got out. They literally, they invested so much time. I was doing that with my see, Mike understands this stuff so much more than I do. You know, his expertise, his understanding of the military and the behind the sort of his knowledge and understanding of it is far superior to mine. What I do know is this: is that um, that's the amount of resources that were invested. Like it should make Americans proud. If you can't look at what happened, how we basically so down, we so, I mean, think about this. This is the first plane in this entire thing that's been shut down, right? And not only did the plane get shut down, but both the pilots, I mean, both the people on board made it out alive. They made all those resources to get that one guy out, and once again, he made it out. I mean, this is anyway. I just I'm glad to see that we went as far that we did what we did in order to be get because I suppose the level of resolve that we have, not just in terms of winning this war, but in terms of doing our best to make sure that those who are engaged in the war, those who are doing the fighting on the ground, that we're doing the best we can to protect them, to keep them out of harm's way, and when they do find out in harm's way, to get them back out of harm's way. So I appreciate that, very much appreciate that. Um, we've been pretty lucky, most lucky, but good. I don't know what the decision is going to be in terms of whether or not we're actually going to commit ground troops or anything like that. So far, I'm not believing we are. I'm believing we will. I do know this. I know that once you commit ground troops, you're looking at a lot more casualties. Right now, the big number right now is out right now at 13. That's the number of people who have died as a result of this, conflict, this skirmish. So we're calling it war, but nobody's really. Well, we've not formally declared war. They declared war on us. But in terms of this current engagement in that war, but I always want to know to look. Hey, as soon as you can ground troops, those numbers go. They do, and we're going to have to decide. Uh, as American people, or we love America enough. We're going to get behind our troops, support our troops, or we're going to so much. It's a serious thing. It's a thing that needs to be addressed. I'm not saying that at all. But if that's the biggest hiccup, that's the one hiccup that caused, gas prices went up by $1 in some of the places. Places went by more. Place California, we know that that's more to do. There's a lot to do with things other than just what's going on in the Middle East. No, here in California anyway. Anyway, once again, I'm proud. We didn't have to be engaged in operations like this, but the fact that we can be involved in operations like this and have them be successful, have our dominance, be so firmly recognized. I think that's an important thing. Just once again, just my 2 cents. Now, now he said that another tweet that he sent out, or truth, whatever you want to call it, and let's just say that it wasn't. I wouldn't say that it was the president's finest moment, but I think he was saying some of the things that he was saying some of the things that you and I would want to say, and saying it in the way in which we would probably wind up saying it, or some of us would wind up saying it. This is being reported from Al Jazeera. Democrats blast Trump for Iran war crimes threat. Call it a war crimes threat. Republicans are supportive. It says here several Democrats have condemned Donald Trump after the United States president renewed his threat to destroy Iran's civilian infrastructure in a profanity-laden message. Democratic legislators questioned the Republicans' mental stability after an Easter Sunday message in which he threatened to bomb Iran's power plants and bridges, which legal experts said would amount to war crimes. Should they some? Anyway, Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari, who is of Iranian descent, called for invoking the 25th Amendment the President of the United States is a deranged lunatic and a national security threat to our country and the rest of the world. Stark wrote in a social media post. For more than 2 weeks, Trump has been threatening to obliterate Iran's civilian infrastructure if Tehran does not open the Strait of Hormuz. Sunday's social media post, which coincided with the Easter holiday, included an expletive and invoked the name of Allah, was especially jarring to many of Trump's critics at home and around the world. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it, Trump wrote. Open the effing street, you crazy bastard, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. Hakeem Jeffries, the top Democrat in the House of Representatives, called the message disgusting and unhinged. Something is really wrong with this guy, Jeffries wrote on X. Your moral madness. The worst opening U.S. Israeli strike on Iran on February 28th, an attack on a girls' school in South Central killed more than 107 children, multiple visual investigations were done. Now, okay, I'm not going to bother reading about that because first of all, one, they put a school right next to a military base, and well, just be honest, we must. Now, Al Jazeera here is trying to make it sound like their plan was we're going to go ahead and blow up an all-girls school. That's the plan. So, I sincerely doubt that. I sincerely doubt the military that any military, any military unit run in the country would deliberately blow up a girls' school to get brutally. We're still trying to figure out one, if it was obvious that they did. Number two, trying to figure out if it did, how did it happen? Where was the mistake? Because if it did happen, well, it did happen. Schools get blown up. But, young men die. But it's a question of what was the cause? What happened? Anyway, that having been said, you know, he, part of the problem is that when people look at things like this, the first thing that they think is, oh, well, he's going to go after the what? First of all, these are all infrastructure, whether it's the power grid, whether it's the oil field, whether it's bridges. Right? These are all entities that are used by the military. Right? These are all entities that serve a dual purpose, both for civilians as well as for military use. And you have to decide at a certain point you're going to we're going to win this war, then you have to remove the ability to be able to use some of these assets. And according to international law, and everyone, around international law, if you do what you got to do, because we didn't really submit ourselves. I mean, I didn't, as an American, submit to any universal, worldwide, whatever you want to call it, foreign law, or foreign powers. Anyway, all that having been said, even if that in those cases there are instances where you can strike you can't strike civilian targets if once again they show a significant military use, and there are certain factors that go into it. As I was listening to this from Ben Shapiro, he made a good point. He's like, in a lot of these cases, there's a lot of gray, and you have to weigh all of these factors. And I just think, though, for Americans to basically, first thing out of their mouth is, oh, well, he's committing war crimes, he's going to commit war crimes. But they're rooting against America. They're rooting against our country. If you believe any American on the right or on the left has as one of their first things, I'm going to intentionally attempt to kill little girls, I'm sorry, you no longer are advocating in a world of reality. I know no Democrat would intentionally, almost no Democrat. That's not going to be my first thing. I'm not going to make the accusation with absolutely no evidence, right? Before all the investigations are done, I'm not going to go out and act like the first thing that they're going to do is seek to do harm to civilians. I'm not, no, you're not going to get that from me. And I don't think Trump has done anything to lead you to believe that. Now, does he talk a lot of trash? Yes, he talks a lot of trash. Does he tend towards hyperbole? Yes, he tends towards hyperbole. More so than I really like or feel comfortable with at times. And that's the God's honest truth. But I've always looked at what he's done. I know, in my opinion, that the overwhelming majority of what he has done has made America better, has made America safer, has made America more prosperous. And the things that he's done that haven't. Once again, I question a lot of things that he says, but I rarely feel the need to question things that he does. Now, I'm not saying he can't go that direction. I'm saying he won't go that direction. What I'm saying is this, I'm following the evidence. And so far, these Democrats, they're just not happy because America's winning. More importantly, it's not so much that America's winning. They're mad that America is winning with Donald Trump at the helm. And they would rather see us fail because they want Donald Trump to fail. What it means is their love of America is trumped by their hatred of Trump. That's sad. That's well said. When Joe Biden was president, I never rooted against America. I think what the result of his policies would be, I guess it. I never rooted for those results. I never rooted for things to go wrong. I just knew they could. When they did, I pointed it out, as have many people on the right. I've never rooted against America. Sadly, the left are doing just that. And it's disgusting. That brings us to our next story, and this one in detail. Gotta tell you, there are times when sometimes I think, nothing good can come from California, and then there's me. Hey, Dylan, for those of you who do not know, is the Deputy Attorney General. She's over the Department of Civil Rights. And, well, let's just say there's one bright spot that has been taking place in the DOJ. Everything that's got on her having to be removed. The one thing that's taking place is it's how the Department of Civil Rights is actually taking on state and local governments and education establishments in order to protect children and young girls. The way in which they've taken on local municipalities, state municipalities, and even some of their own departments in order to protect the right to keep and bear arms. Would truly taken civil rights and changed it from being special rights for special people, but meaning the rights that are due to each and every one of us as citizens of the United States. Well, that's what the Department of Civil Rights has been doing. The leader behind all of that has been one Harmeet Miller. This is an article over in Politico, and they're pointing out this article how there are many. Look, the leading kind of thing out there was that, well, Lisa Elton is the one who's going to be tapped, possibly placed on other time movement. A lot of people in the online community, in the community, for in the commentary, shall we say, they're saying, by the way, I happen to be one of them who is saying that Harmeet should probably be considered seriously considered as a replacement for Bond. Let's look at the article. It says Harmeet Dillon cites the woke ideology she wants to put in the U.S. in the U.S. Justice Department's sites. She does so for a personal familiarity, perhaps unrivaled in the conservative movement. Dillon, a figure likely to emerge as a with new power, President Donald Trump's shakeup in the department's leadership, built her legal career and political identity in San Francisco, where she was a Republican activist vastly outnumbered by Democrats and led a legal revolt against California's progressive policies. The entirety of my career has been a minority conservative viewpoint in a very liberal profession, Dylan told Politico in a recent interview. I am not here for a popularity contest. That defiance made the 57-year-old Dylan a popular pick among conservative activists, lobbying the White House to consider her as a replacement for Pam Bondi, whom Trump ousted from the Attorney General's office on Thursday. Others see her as a strong candidate to serve as Deputy Attorney General or Associate General Counsel. I mean, Dylan always seemed to me to be obvious AG. Commentator Sir, Sir, Mike Cernovich wrote after Trump removed Bondi, amid a flurry of familiar social media posts from like-minded back-aligned voices. If this isn't locked down, she's definitely someone most supported by base. Dylan gained national notice because she was a local outlier driving culture war wedges in California battles over diversity, free speech, and COVID closures. She has since run a year-long campaign to transform the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division and American society. Dylan says her vision is not to slow down progressive civil rights aims, but to turn the train around, driving in the opposite direction, as she told the Conservative Federalist Society after her appointment. Now, I want you to understand what that means, and that is what the point behind what she is saying is. I know some people are going to take that to mean, oh, well, is she saying she doesn't want people to have equal rights? No, that's not what she's saying at all. But what has happened is this department is turned to an ideology where, once again, what civil rights means in their eyes, special rights about people, meaning, you deserve special considerations and rights if you are the right ethnicity, if you are the right national origin, if you are the right gender, if you are the right gender identity, if you are the right religion, or more importantly, you deserve to have, you need to take a back seat if you are the wrong gender, if you are the wrong gender ideology, if you are the wrong religion, if you have the wrong political, in all these, the wrong skin color. Their goal is not to make things even, it's to make others lesser than, right? No where better can be described than what Abraham Kennedy basically said. The only way in which to reverse past discrimination is with current discrimination. The only way in which to get rid of current discrimination is with future discrimination. I mean, what's funny is that the laws that are written, all of these things are being done in violation of civil rights law. When you're not supposed to be considering someone's race, you're not supposed to consider their religion when you're making these decisions. But in some cases, it seems like that's the only thing that they're using to make decisions. That is how you wind up with a judge as your vice president. Because I'm only going to look unquote qualified black women. And the worst part about it was they didn't even pick both qualified. There are, I think, half a dozen black women who would have been worlds better vice president than Kamala Harris. I wouldn't agree with any of them ideologically. But I can think what it was like talking with a couple more dozen if you'll let me include conservatives, but he doesn't shoot for among conservatives. But to tell you what it was on the Supreme Court, can't tell you what a woman is. A woman who's supposed to be a proud black woman can't tell you what a woman is. A person, because they said, well, we're only going to choose a black woman. A woman who says, well, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan, that makes me a Japanese citizen. I don't know what to say to that. has been what Harvey Millen has been working diligently to overturn. And plus, she's been overseeing the new department, the new effort to actually write our gun law and protect us from these municipalities that are going after guns. I will say this, Army, talk about this. If you need help, and I've been calling this for well over a decade. I've been calling this department for well over a decade. No, I'm not a lawyer. I can tell you right now, I know where all the bodies are buried. And I know people who are fighting to uncover those bodies. I know people on the ground fighting in those states, fighting in those cities. Let me help you. Hit a brother up. Give me a holler at me. Anyway, moving along, one final story here too that we're going to cover. This is well, opening the door now for that all of the political prosecutions that took place when Joe Biden was president, all of the people, the allies of the president that the Congress went after, that the Democrats went after. One of them, who's no longer an ally of the president, but get in trouble because at the time he was an ally of the president. It says the Supreme Court clears the path for Trump's DOJ to dismiss the criminal case against Steve Bannon. This being reported by CNN. Says the Supreme Court on Monday cleared the way for President Donald Trump's administration to drop the government's criminal case against Steve Bannon, a former White House advisor convicted in 2022 of defying a subpoena from lawyers investigating January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. The Supreme Court's decision follows a move by the federal prosecutors in February to drop the indictment brought during President Joe Biden's administration. Both the Justice Department and Bannon had asked the High Court to toss out an appeals court ruling upholding the conviction and send the case back to the trial court so that the original charges against them could be dismissed. This case should never have been brought, and we're delighted that the decision affirming Mr. Bannon's unlawful conviction has finally been vacated. Bannon's attorney, Michael Bushbacher, told CNN. Bannon was convicted by a federal jury for refusing to comply with a subpoena for an interview and documents in the U.S. House's January 6, 2021 investigation. He already completed a 4-month prison sentence for that in 2024. Now, I want you to keep in mind that I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty darn sure that, of course, there have been plenty of people in the past who have defied subpoenas from the House. And none of them have even been charged, let alone convicted. None of them have gone to jail. If I'm wrong, go ahead and post in the comments. You're wrong. Provide the link. As far as I know, I don't know anybody's ever gone to jail. But we know that this whole thing was a political persecution. It's a persecution, political prosecution. Every single person on that committee was a Trump leader. Every single one. We know that the ethics that were done in the hearings and the opening hearings were all scripted by some dude from ABC. It was all scripted. It was all part of a plan to basically just make Donald Trump. It was. It was because there were certain people that never questioned and never talked to, and never bothered to actually investigate how things wound up. No conversation about why there were no national guard there. Absolutely none. No investigations into the just letting people into the Capitol. In some cases, look like they were getting guided tours to people. No investigation into any of that whatsoever. And because he refused to participate in that charade, and that's what it was. It was a charade. They sent him to jail. That's why when people start talking about, people going after his political enemies, you realize that he's only going after having people to investigate literally the people who went after him. He literally, that's all he's doing. It's saying, look, he wants people to look. Here's what they did on the up and if it's not Folks, now brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we jump right into our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Horticulture. Go to horticulture.com. This is kind of the rundown. Caption spaces at your horticulture today. All the parting shots today are going to be brought to you by the Babylon B fake news that you can trust. All right, here we go. The first one here. Here we go. Down F-15 pilot asks rescuers if they can go back for his AirPods real quick. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Here we go. It's getting serious. Trump triple dog dares Iran to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed. The only thing about that is when Donald Trump makes a threat, he has been known, he's demonstrated that he will go there. So I don't know about that one. That's me. Anyway, here we go. France question how rescue mission considered a success when no one surrendered to the Nazis. Yeah, can't want to criticize, but like, you know what? Who exactly is going to be taking anything France has to say seriously when it comes to military victories? Then a Canadian astronaut humanely euthanized after suffering a late bruise during takeoff. For those of you who don't know, they're euthanasia number one cause of death here in Canada. And finally, Trump introduces new wrong citizenship rule to deport all losers and haters. What's that about that? That I think would be good. I believe you would. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of the program. But before we go, we need to shout out to our sponsors. First, Hitman Industries rifle and pistol caliber barrel available for purchase at any link at hitmanindustries.net. We have the California Republican Society, the Conscience of the Republican Party. Visit them at crgop.org. We've got the best concealed carry tactical holsters available on the market at hogholster.com. That's HAWG-holsters.com. Helping Americans wear guns. And finally, we've got the place where you can find all things tactical except gun. And that would be at uscompactgear.com. All right, that's it for today's program. We will be back tomorrow on Taco Tuesday. Y'all have fun. You all stay safe, and we will